Part 30. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 291. Creator of the human race, I admit that you are different from those idiots I met before. But reaching here is almost the end of your road. From the vortex formed above, bursts of sharp whispers came. Bai Zi chuckled, and his projection appeared in front of the withering eyes. The corners of his mouth raised, revealing a strong sense of contempt. Humph. You are just stubborn. Is that what I said, rebrand? Boom. Suddenly, the chaos on the opposite side exploded. The evolved withering storm looked at Bai Zi with unbelievable eyes. For just a moment, its brain was like standby, frozen in place. What? What did you say? Withering storm almost roared. Bai Zi crossed his arms and continued to show a contemptuous face. No more words, do it, Hyperjeton. Without waiting for the withering storm to react, a figure suddenly appeared in front of it. Then, two arc-shaped beams of light were shot out, and a head of the withering storm fell. The storm guard on the side wanted to support, but was hit by a petrifying beam of light and lost some of his ability to move on the spot. Creator of the human race, I will let you know the consequences of angering me. Come out, guards in the chaos, the withering storm was furious. Then, the dark little doors around it opened. Black monsters with wings on their backs and tridents emerged from them. Seeing this, Bai Zi was not surprised at all and immediately ordered the meteorites to join the Sea Emperor organization to counterattack. The two armies marched forward and directly blocked the small door to slaughter. Every monster that came out died, and it was difficult to gather and cause effective damage. Is this all you can do? If so, it's too useless, Bai Zi sneered. He wanted to irritate this guy, and he often lost his mind when he was angry. In this way, Rebrando might recall all the creatures in the world without thinking. The siege over there was also solved. The creator of the human race, you. Withering Storm's tone was mixed with anger, and it was obviously angered by Bai Zi. But just as it was about to curse, a beam of light slashed across, and its open head was cut off. The huge head fell with black air, staining the small sky with turbidity. Death Scythe Jeton did not give it a chance, and its offensive was more fierce than the other wave. As the strongest trump card in Bai Zi's hand, it was even more powerful after being evolved. A mere ordinary monarch, as long as it is given time, can be defeated in a single fight. Seeing that the battle situation was very good, Withering Storm and its men were suppressed, and Bai Zi did not need to monitor them. He transferred time and prepared to implement the last step of the plan. Mother Planet, in front of the connecting channel. The Sword and Shield clan, which had been ready, flew in the air under the leadership of Doughty. Bai Zi silently took out the S-level card, and he was still reluctant to part with it. Not only was he reluctant to part with this card, but he was also reluctant to part with the monster cemetery. To be honest, if he could seize the origin of the world, then according to the copy rules, the entire planet would belong to Bai Zi. At that time, he would gain control of the world, and the monster cemetery would also become Bai Zi's private property. There were hundreds of monsters at the peak of the war. When combined, they could become monarch-level creatures, and even Hyperzeton was no match for them. If he could master it, this national competition would be much easier to play. Unfortunately, if he didn't destroy it in this way, he couldn't seize the origin of the world from Rebrando. The final result could only be defeat and destruction. Alas! Bai Zi sighed with regret. I can only wait until the war is over, and then find a way to revive you. After that, Bai Zi's projection appeared, and a divine oracle fell. Everything is ready on the other side of the distorted world. The remaining task is the last one, and it is also the most difficult one. If we fail, everyone will die without a burial place. This time, it all depends on you. In the Tiger Group, sonorous and powerful voices kept echoing. The leading Dowdy roared, and the power on his body continued. For the honor of my master and the planet, I swear to complete the task at all costs. Hearing this, Bai-Ze nodded with satisfaction. So, he waved his hand and threw out the S-level prop card. There was a frame-shaped portal engraved on the card, which slowly dissipated in the air and turned into particles floating to the ground. Rumble. After a violent shaking, a portal rose from the ground. The blue vortex in the door turned and emitted light. At the other end, in the northwest base, in the center of the tombstones, there was also a similar portal opened. Ding, S-level prop card, the portal was used successfully. Ding, S-level prop card, the portal has one remaining use. Ding, the portal countdown begins, please speed up. Roar. Roar. Continuous roars spread from the Sword and Shield clan. Without waiting for Bai-Ze to give orders, they all flew into the portal. Watching the scenes, Bai-Ze's heart dropped a little. Then, he turned his view back to the distorted world, in the central base. At this moment, the two sides fought for a long time. The number of casualties of the meteor bugs exceeded 1,000, and the Sea King also had a small number of casualties. But the withering storm was obviously forced into a desperate situation. With only a head left, it had descended from high altitude to low altitude, and its body was covered with golden knife marks. It was obvious that it was all injured by the Death Scythe Jeton. Ding ding dings hitten. The Death Scythe Jeton also began to descend and stood under Bai-Ze's projection. Seeing this scene, Bai-Ze, who had returned, sneered again. With your broken body, you have no chance to resist. Why not surrender to me? Maybe I can show mercy and let you live. Bai-Ze knew that Rebrand was a noble cosmic man. Once, he ruled the universe for tens of thousands of years and was a well-deserved overlord. Letting an overlord surrender to himself is undoubtedly the best way to humiliate it. You are just the creator of the human race, don't be so arrogant. I am. Hee, please stop talking. It's already like this, do you really want to keep pretending? Lebrando, Bai-Ze said in a heavy voice. This time, the withering storm on the opposite side heard it very clearly. A little red light flashed in its empty pupils, and its whole head was shaking. It didn't hear Bai-Ze's words wrong before, it was indeed calling this name. You, how could you? Nothing is impossible, I know everything. You are just a virtual creature, and you can't hide it from the eyes of God. Bai-Ze boasted nonsense, which made the withering storm stunned. Because he didn't know Bai-Ze's true identity, combined with everything he had done before. Withering Storm had a very scary idea in his heart. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us, we will deal with it as soon as possible, thank you for your understanding. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 292. Hee hee ha ha ha. Suddenly, Withering laughed out loud. The tone was cheerful, and Bai-Ze could tell whose voice it was. Staring at the withering storm, a light and shadow slowly floated out from behind it. The light and shadow was still transforming, and the color on its body dissipated, revealing its original appearance. The ultimate life form, the Rebrando star. Hee, a weak second-level creator can recognize me. But you have completely angered me. Then let me show you the real power that Rebrando possesses. After saying that, it slowly raised one arm above its head. At the same time, the two armies in the southwest forest on the other side had suffered heavy losses. Most of the tree people were injured overall, and even if the Dapen were protected in the middle, they also suffered considerable losses. The insect tide has arrived, and the vast insects around are constantly attacking the defense of the wooden wall. Large cracks appeared on the wooden wall. Aurora raised her staff and watched the wooden wall collapse with a bang. Insects poured in from all directions, wave after wave, endlessly. The bodies of the tree people could not stop them, and the feather arrows of the rock became insignificant. The most fatal thing was that Aurora found that her magic had reached its limit. She half knelt on the shoulders of the Tree King, and a sense of despair arose spontaneously. And at this moment, when the army was about to be annihilated, all the attacking insects suddenly stopped. Including those distorted creatures, their sharp teeth and claws no longer attacked. Aurora looked at the scene blankly, and then the insects and distorted creatures exploded and died one after another. From their bodies, crystals of different colors flew out. In an instant, the creatures in the forest seemed to understand something and smiled happily. This must be the case. The plan of their own gods worked. Otherwise, how could these creatures disappear for no reason? With a sigh of relief, a large number of tree people collapsed, and the big rocks were exhausted and fell from the sky. And those crystals that flew out decomposed into a stream of energy in the air and slowly flew towards the central base. In front of Rebrando, the withering storm also began to wail in pain, and then the purple crystals in its body popped out. Combined with the floating energy, all fell into Rebrando's hands. Its eyes were almost crazy, and it raised the extremely pure energy in its hands. This is the power of all creatures on the distorted planet, and it is also its strongest means. You will regret coming to this world. Resurrection, my pet. The energy light ball flew away in an instant, rushing towards the direction of the northwest base. Rebrando opened his arms and laughed wildly, as if he had anticipated the scene when he won. But Baize under the sky did not move at all. There was no fear, no doubt, and no exploration, just watching its performance quietly. After a long time, the energy had entered the northwest base. But nothing happened, not to mention the beam of light that shot up into the sky. There was not even a sound. Huh, Rebrando frowned. It suddenly turned its head and aimed its sight in the direction of the northwest base. After a while, nothing happened there. What's going on? Why haven't the monsters been resurrected after the energy went in? How is it possible? Rebrando collapsed and screamed. Suddenly, Baize's voice came down from the sky. Don't waste your energy, it's useless. I said, no matter what you do, today will be your death. Hearing these words, Rebrando felt angry. But he thought about it again, it must be Baize's hand. The energy has been gone for so long, but there is still no movement, it can only be him. Damn human creator. After a roar, Rebrando quickly took steps. His figure turned into light and shadow and flew towards the northwest base. Seeing this, Baize was not in a hurry. After Rebrando gathered energy, the siege crisis in the forest was resolved. And the shackles that restricted his creatures were also broken. The situation was very good. Baize waited for a while before ordering the creatures to set off to pursue. After a while, Rebrando arrived at the northwest base first. It fell from the sky, and its eyes widened in an instant. Everywhere he looked, there was a scene of ruin. Hundreds of Tongtian stone tablets broke and collapsed, stones were arranged horizontally, and the ground was covered with rubble. Even the ground was hid with potholes. Rebrando continued to move forward, which was even more unbelievable. It didn't stop until it saw a row of figures. This. That's right, the people standing in front of it were the Sword and Shield clan. Led by the leader Dowdy, the whole clan was full of red glow, and their faces and bodies were full of pride. They completed the task, destroyed all the Tongtian tombstones here, and prevented the monsters from resurrecting. At this time, Dowdy took a few steps forward. He opened his mouth wide, and the ball of thick energy was all in his mouth. Rebrando was at a loss, and the scenes in front of him were so shocking that he couldn't speak. His own monster cemetery, which had been cultivated to the current monster cemetery, was destroyed so easily. Then, he heard several booms behind him, and Baizi's main force just arrived. The two armies surrounded him, and Baizi's projection appeared again. Rebrando, you are at the end of your rope. Everything you think, do is under my control. With your ability, you can't escape this time. Reblando's body shook violently when he heard this, and it was obvious that he was extremely angry. He suddenly shouted angrily, and his right hand transformed into a battle instrument. He, the creator of the human race, don't underestimate me. Even if you have anticipated everything, the origin of the world has always been in my hands. As long as I don't die, I can mobilize the origin of the world to fight back. After that, ripples appeared in the space around Reblando. Its chest suddenly thrust forward, and something inside it floated out. Baizi could see at a glance that it was the origin of the world, the most important thing on a planet. The tiny creator. Accept the full force of a planet. Reblando held the battle instrument in his right hand and the origin of the world in his left hand, both of which were raised above his head. In an instant, the distorted planet suddenly changed, and natural disasters such as earthquakes, tornadoes, hail, sandstorms, and lightning swarmed in. Baizi watched all the changes and squinted his eyes. But the next second, he smiled, his eyes revealing excitement. System, open the mall and exchange the world origin stealing card. Instantly, Baizi's Genesis value was deducted by 10,000. Ding, the Genesis value has been automatically deducted, and the world origin stealing card has been purchased successfully. A card, from virtual to real, appeared in Baizi's hand. He threw the card without any hesitation. System, use the world origin stealing card. Ding, the world origin stealing card was used successfully. Time limit, 1 minute. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 293. The next second, the space and even time of the entire distorted planet seemed to be still. The originally restless world origin began to dim and wilted directly in the hands of Rebrando. The latter was shocked and suddenly looked up at such an incredible scene, and could no longer speak. Humph! Now, the will of the world, listen to my command. Baizi suddenly stretched out his hand and opened his palm. The dim world origin floated up again and became bright. But the difference is that the impact force released by the origin this time was all directed at Rebrando. Before it could react, the huge shockwave hit the soul directly. The virtual Rebrando realized the danger and tried to resist with the battle instrument. But in the moment when it touched the world power, the battle instrument was directly shaken into the sky. Rebrando's virtual body was also hit hundreds of meters away and fell heavily to the ground. Ahem! You stole my world origin. How did you do it? Who are you? He roared while holding his body. At this time, seeing that Reblando was seriously injured, creatures from all directions surrounded him. Baizi's projection was high above, staying under the sky, with mysterious and flashing golden pupils. To see through the world is to be a god. The sound of the avenue spread, and the world shook. Hearing this, Reblando felt a trace of fear from the bottom of his heart. The origin of the world is the foundation of a world. Unless the master dies, it cannot be stolen. This is a rule, an insurmountable rule. But the guy in front of him actually stole its world origin with external force. This has exceeded the cognition and imagination of creatures, and even does not conform to the rules between the universe. In other words, this guy in front of him. Independent of the universe. It's all over. Now, it's time to send you on your way. At the same time, Baizi began to activate the origin of the world again. In an instant, the world was in a violent storm, and the surging power gathered at one point, reaching its peak. Boom! A huge noise resounded through the world, and it came out with a blow from the world. Facing the rebrando on the ground, it launched a devastating blow. And watching the upcoming attack, the latter's pupils contracted and kept panicking. Suddenly, just as the energy was about to hit, a ray of light flashed from Rebrando's body. Baizi's originally narrowed pupils began to widen, and a touch of red appeared in front of his eyes. Boom! The energy hit head-on, and the explosion raised dust and smoke. Wait for a moment, and a pair of scarlet pupils flashed in the mist. At the same time, Baizi's system sent a message. Ding, warning, supersized life form found. Ding, system detection completed. Name of organism, Rebrando. Species of organism, ultimate life form. Level of organism. Introduction to creatures, \U0026U and #@ Looking at the panel full of garbled characters and question marks, Baizi frowned. With another turn of view, the fog had dissipated. Rebrando, who had taken a direct blow from the world, was still alive. Not only that, its body gradually became physical from virtual, which was also the reason why the system could detect it. What a terrible power! Retreat quickly. All disperse, don't be affected. At this time, feeling the huge energy fluctuations, Hypergeton began to order his men to disperse. At the same time, the two armies who were resting in the southwest forest also stood up one after another, with solemn faces. In the direction of the central base, an unimaginable terrifying force appeared. Aurora could feel that this power was even far beyond the Lich God she had seen before. It was definitely not an existence of the same level. What on earth is that thing? The view turned and returned to Baizi. He was sure that the guy in front of him was still Rebrando. But the difference was that this was not a virtual body, but a real Rebrando. Ha ha ha. A hearty laugh came from below. Rebrando slowly stood up, and the dark energy fluctuations of fear seemed to be able to crush a planet at will. My clone, thank you for taking care of me. I didn't expect that the accident would happen here. But forget it. Rebrando faced Baizi with a deep tone. Compared with the virtual Rebrando just now, it felt much more majestic. The creator of the human race, I will remember you. If I have a chance to see you again in the multiverse, I will definitely crush you with my own hands. The real Rebrando twisted his neck and laughed wildly. Then, its figure turned into energy and gradually disappeared in the air. Baizi was stunned in the same place until the other party disappeared, and his heart was still beating. That kind of oppression can only be done by a true god. How could this be? Rebrando's real body would be so terrifying. However, it seems that it has indeed left. It should be afraid of the means by which I steal the origin of the world. Luckily, I escaped, otherwise I would be crushed to death in an instant with the opponent's power. Whew! Baizi took a deep breath and breathed a sigh of relief. Ding, the time limit for stealing the origin of the world card has ended. At this time, the ending sound echoed in my ears. Fortunately, I escaped. After reacting, Baizi looked at the barren land. Except for its own creatures, no other creatures survive. In other words, it should be completely over now. System, it's over now, Baizi asked. Ding, one step away. World origin, the host devours the world origin, and this plane war is completely over. Baizi nodded and understood what it meant. So, he opened one palm. Rebrando disappeared, and the ownerless world origin floating in the air. Feeling the pull of the same kind, it slowly floated into Baizi's hand. Then, it was absorbed by Baizi at a speed visible to the naked eye. In Baizi's body, there is also a similar light ball. The two light balls merged with each other and became a larger light ball with purer energy. Ding, congratulations to the host, the world origin fusion was successful. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have gained control of the distorted world. Ding, this plane war is over, and the host is clearing the spoils. Suddenly, Bai Zi's eyes went dark. When he opened his eyes again, he was in spectator mode. Pictures flashed before his eyes quickly, clear and smooth. Bai Zi could see everything clearly. These pictures tell the history of the changes of the entire distorted planet, all recorded in the origin of the world. Among them, Bai Zi also learned several extremely important information. The monster cemetery was not originally produced on the distorted planet. The original owner of the planet was a federal officer, and it was on the way to explore the universe. It accidentally discovered these monster tombstones on a meteorite. Out of the curiosity of the researchers, it ordered its creatures to move the entire meteorite back to its own planet overnight. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 294. The location where the meteorite landed eventually formed the Northwest Base. That is, the monster cemetery we see today. However, the ending is obvious. Rebrando seems to have some special connection with the monster cemetery. It can sense the location of the monster cemetery, so it caused a fatal disaster. The researcher was attacked by Rebrando, causing the planet to corrupt and die. In addition, Bai Zi also learned the most terrifying point. According to the memory record, the Rebrando who came to invade the distorted planet was not a real person. If you insist, it is a clone with a little consciousness. Whether it is intelligence level or strength, it is far less powerful than the original body, not even 1/10,000th. And what Bai Zi faced just now was not the real original body. That should be the will of the original body. The real Rebrando did not seem to be resurrected. He sent clones in the universe, looking for something to prepare for his resurrection. After understanding everything, Bai Zi was extremely shocked. He had invisibly destroyed the resurrection plan of a big devil. If we meet in the future as it said, I will be in big trouble. Ding, the distorted world has been cleaned up for the host. At this time, a voice came from the system. Bai Zi exited the memory fragment and came to the distorted world. I only heard a series of sounds in my ears. Ding, the monster battle instrument has been recovered successfully. Ding, the system has automatically converted. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the unique skill, the God Scepter. God Scepter inherits the original skills, can control the actions of monsters, additional skills, and can affect the thinking and judgment of other creatures after activation. Ding, the world energy conversion is completed. Ding, the local fusion energy of the mother planet is completed. Ding, congratulations to the host, the world breaks through the shackles, transcends the restrictions, breaks through to the third-level world, and all things are sublimated. I only heard a loud boom, and a ray of light descended from the mother planet. The whole world is singing, and the creatures all look up at the starry sky. There, a shackle that locked the world was faintly broken, and rich spiritual energy swept the planet. Bathed in the spiritual energy, animals became active and plants began to grow faster. All things were reviving, offering blessings for the breakthrough of the mother planet. Ding, congratulations to the creator Bai Zi, the special third-level task, the distorted world cleaning was successfully completed. Not the system, a mechanical broadcast sound echoed. Ding, detected that the creator has taken control of the planet, return to the transmission start. Next, Bai Zi's side was blocked by a white light. On the 10th floor of the creation building, a human figure appeared on the transmission chair, wrapped in white light. Then there was the central large screen on the 10th floor, which was full of news that the creator had completed the task. Suddenly, a bright red subtitle occupied the entire screen. Ding, congratulations to the second level creator by ZE, completing the third level special task, Distorted World. The loud voice spread to every corner of the 10th floor and was still being replayed. The creators who were in a hurry were stunned when they heard this. They suspected that they had heard it wrong, and turned their heads to look at the big screen. Until a line of red words was reflected in front of them, everyone's pupils shrank, and their expressions were incredible. At the same time, the second level ranking list began to rotate rapidly. There was an unclear name that surpassed everyone and climbed up at a very fast speed. It started to slow down slowly when it reached the top 10. 9th. 8th. The third place in the ranking list, and then the second. It seemed that it had stopped moving, but after a pause, this name rushed up again. In an instant, it squeezed the name of Bai Xingguan, who was the first on the list, down. Climbed to the top of the second level list. Bai Zi. Ding, congratulations to the second level creator Bai Zi, who ranked first on the second level list. Another full screen announcement. This time, the creator who was stunned trembled all over and almost screamed. Bai Zi, it was that Bai Zi. Tianzhou Academy, Bai Zi, who had previously boasted that he would challenge the special third level mission. He actually came back alive and succeeded in the challenge. My God, what happened to this world? Why can a second level creator pass the third level special mission? That mission, but 10 third level creators died before, and it is about to be upgraded. Could it be that those 10 people combined are not as strong as Bai Zi, a second level creator? On the 10th floor of the creation building, the creators' eyes were ferocious. Even the creators who were about to take the mission refused to do it, and kept making a lot of noise. On the other side, a human figure materialized, and Bai Zi returned to the creation building. He sat on the teleportation chair and took off his helmet. He patted the dust off his body, stood up and walked out. On the way, the eyes of the creators around him all changed. There were those who were afraid, horrified, and respectful, all making way for Bai Zi. After walking out of the transmission area, the young lady who came to greet him saw that it was Bai Zi and immediately stepped forward. When she looked at Bai Zi again, her eyes were filled with deep astonishment. It was as if she saw a ghost crawling out of a coffin. Mr. Bai Zi, she asked tentatively, are you okay? Are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere? Seeing this, Bai Zi raised his mouth slightly and waved his hand, saying, thank you for your concern. I'm fine. There is no problem. He continued to walk forward, and there was no sign of abnormality on his body. This scene made the young lady and the creators around him admire it. A second-level creator not only completed the third-level special task, but also had no injuries on his body. You know, even if they challenged the same level of tasks, they would at least return with serious injuries. Bai Zi's state can't be described by ordinary people's thoughts. I didn't see it wrong. That name on the second-level ranking list, that name was squeezed down. I understand, Bai Zi chose this time point and had to challenge that difficult task. He must have calculated the time and the contribution value, and his intention was to squeeze the goddess down in the ranking. He is blatantly declaring war on the imperial capital. Walking into the central hall, shouts came one after another. The top position of the second-level list has not changed for a long time. Because that was the record set by the goddess herself, and no one has been able to surpass it so far. Originally, everyone thought that this would become a symbol of an era and a proof of the most glorious history of the imperial capital. In the next 10 years, or even decades, there will be no genius who can match the goddess. But today, a month later, someone surpassed her. It was the guy who was rumored to be on par with the goddess. He deliberately chose the opening of the national competition to break the record left by the goddess. Isn't it just to show that the goddess is not as good as himself? This is a provocation, and even more a naked declaration of war. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 295. At this time, Bai Zi walked into the central hall from the aisle. Some creators were so frightened that they gave way when they saw the intruder. In their hearts, their impression of Bai Zi suddenly improved a lot. This guy seems to have done something ridiculous. If you choose to challenge a dungeon during a competition period, isn't this looking for death? But the result was unexpected. Even they didn't discover Bai Zi's true purpose, thinking that he was really here to blindly seek death. Who knew that the other party had a plan, and deliberately chose this difficult task just to break the goddess record. And, the most important thing is that Bai Zi is in very good mental condition now. He walked with great energy, and he didn't look like he had been through a big battle at all. This shows that the other party must have been prepared. At this time, while walking on the road, Bai Zi spoke softly. The mission of the distorted copy has been completed, and the reward should be cashed out. The young lady next to him suddenly woke up and immediately nodded in agreement. Okay, please follow me. 500 million federal coins will be transferred to your account soon. She gestured with her hand and led Bai Zi towards the bar. After some exchanges, Chuangshi Building made the payment on the spot. Byte. The bank card arrived, 500 million federal coins. Looking at the message on his mobile phone, Bai Zi was quite satisfied with the long clause. Now, plus the money given by teacher Joe last time, he has more than 600 million federal coins in hand. In this national competition, you can use prop cards to assist in combat. So he needs money to buy various types of prop cards. Okay, I've received it. By the way, there should be a place to buy prop cards here. The receptionist nodded repeatedly when he heard this. Yes, if you need to buy prop cards, I will take you there. After that, she led Bai Zi and prepared to take the elevator to the exclusive floor. People who saw Bai Zi on the way stood at a distance with fearful and respectful eyes. Did you hear that? The 10th floor has been blown up. That's him, he is Bai Zi from Tianzhou Academy. I just asked the creator on the 10th floor. The record set by the goddess was actually pushed down by him. The second-level creator challenged the third-level mission and remained unscathed. It seems that the rumors are true. He really has the strength to rival the goddess. There was a huge crowd, and the Genesis building was in complete chaos. The creators screamed, went crazy, and their faces turned red. At the same time, the person who received the news the fastest was the president of the distant Genesis group. She put the phone to her ear, and the person on the other end spoke in a trembling voice. No, that's not good, President. You told me to let Bai Zi from Tianzhou Academy challenge me. But now that he's back, he's even broken the record set by the goddess a month ago. The one who spoke was the person at the helm of the Genesis building headquarters. Her voice was so loud that it felt like her throat was about to burst out. After hearing these words, the woman holding the mobile phone on the top floor of the creation group shrank. She looked at the scene in the distance through the floor-to-ceiling windows, and slowly put the phone down from her ear. It can be seen that the woman's eyes are 3 parts surprised, 3 parts excited, and 4 parts unbelievable. She really didn't expect that a random decision could achieve such an effect. Hello? Hello? Mr. CAI, are you still there? Said the other end of the phone excitedly. Taking a deep breath, the woman calmed down her excitement. Then he picked up the phone, put it to his ear and said slowly, I'm here, I know about this. Now, do as I command. After a pause, the helmsman of Creation Building nodded repeatedly, Mr. CAI, please tell me, I'll listen. This is our chance to make money. Use all the power of our Genesis group to create public opinion towards death. Spread today's matter to the point where the whole country is aware of it. In addition, the woman paused for 2 seconds, then smiled and said, I want to see the battle of gods with my own eyes. So the title is, The Record of the Goddess is Broken, and the first battle between the two gods begins. It's time to raise the atmosphere of the national competition to the highest level. As soon as these words came out, the helmsman was silent. It wasn't that she didn't agree, but it was such a serious matter that she was so shocked that she couldn't speak out. Okay, CEO. Leave this matter to me. Finally, she finished the sentence with a trembling voice. After hanging up the phone, the woman looked up to the sky. From the height she was standing, it seemed like she could easily hold the entire sun as long as she slowly raised her hand. This day is destined to be extraordinary again. Bai Ziyi wandered around the floors of the Chuangshi building and spent almost all his money. I bought a total of 5 A-level prop cards and 3 B-level prop cards. The price of A-level prop cards is generally over 100 million, while B-level prop cards are tens of millions, not to mention how expensive they are. After Bai Ziyi came out, he counted the time and found that it had been 5 days since he entered the dungeon. Today is also the 5th day of the competition. I only received a total of 500 million federal coins, but they were all gone. In the evening, a refreshed Bai Ziyi slipped out of the Chuangshi building. Those creators were so scary that they made his ears hurt. Along the way, there are people who are the creator making noises and taking pictures. I don't know, I think I am some kind of big star. Is it just a matter of skipping a level and defeating a dungeon mission, and is it worth being so excited? However, it seems that they also mentioned what records? That's right, Bai Ziyi suddenly remembered something. Completing tasks will earn contribution points. If you contribute enough, you will be on the leaderboard. If you destroy a level 3 planet at level 2, how much contribution should you get? Bai Ziyi was in a hurry to come out just now and wanted to buy prop cards, so he didn't look carefully. Maybe it was because of his contribution that he jumped to the top of the rankings and caused a sensation. Thinking about it this way, Bai Ziyi felt it made sense. He didn't go back and look at it. After all, the list was useless. I'm just going to take a taxi and go back to the Sulan competition area first. The 5-day schedule has passed, and with 2 days left, the second stage of the competition is about to begin. In addition, after obtaining the distorted planet, Bai Ziyi also had to find a way to absorb it. Toot toot. At this moment, the cell phone in his pocket suddenly rang. Bai Ziyi just wanted to call and tell Xia Yunyu and the others the good news. Finally, I picked up the phone and saw that it was them calling. So, Bai Ziyi happily picked up the phone and answered the call. Hey, Yunyu, I have good news for you. You exploded. Don't wait for Bai Ziyi to finish. A shout of mixed electromagnetic sound came from the opposite side. Maybe it was because the sound was too loud and the wheat was fried. What's wrong, Yunyu? What blew up? I mean, what you did has already exploded in the imperial capital. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 296. What did I do? Bai Ziyi asked in confusion. Xia Yunyu's tone became strange, and she hurriedly said, Are you kidding me? You went to the creation building and challenged the difficult copy, isn't it just to squeeze the ranking of the goddess? Hearing this, Bai Ziyi's brows quickly locked together. What the hell? I went to the creation building just to make creatures break through and make the planets advance. How can I squeeze the ranking of the goddess down? Who is she? I don't even know her now, how can I squeeze her down? Wait, will you squeeze out the goddess ranking? Yes. The record of the top of the second level list on the 10th floor of the creation building was left by the goddess a month ago. At that time, she defeated a third level world with a second level planet, and thus left a name. But you also defeated a third level world stronger than her with the second level. Now, the top of the second level list has changed, and you directly crushed the goddess. Bai Zi was stunned for a while, and his eyes became more and more strange. The top of the second level list. That thing, he had paid some attention to it before, so he still remembered it. It seems that the name of the top is Bai Xingguan. Yunyu, is the goddess you are talking about called Bai Xingguan? After asking this question, Xia Yunyu on the opposite side was silent for 2 seconds, and then said, "That's right. It should be this name. I heard others say it in the Imperial Capital Division before." For a while, Bai Zi, who got a positive answer, did not speak. The scenes in the creation building just now were replayed in his mind repeatedly. Xia Yunyu said that she should have reached the top of the second level list. If the original top is still the goddess, then the excitement of the creators before can be explained now. What did he do? Isn't this a naked provocation to the goddess? Break your record to prove that you are not as good as me. Oh my god. Bai Zi murmured. Hello? Yunyu, I just came out of the Genesis building now. I'm going to go back. If you have any questions, let's talk about it later. Xia Yunyu nodded and responded, okay, no hurry. Then you come back first. If you have anything, you can talk about it tomorrow morning. After that, Bai Zi hung up the phone first. He took a taxi and got in and prepared to leave the Genesis building. At the same time, the lights were dim at night, and the lights were bright and bustling. In addition to the propaganda of the Genesis group, everything that happened in the Genesis building today shocked everyone in the Imperial capital. Star Alliance headquarters, in the top floor office. As the headlines rolled, Wang Ho's surprise gradually turned into surprise. Good guy. Although there must be the instigation of the creation group. But this kid is really brave, Wang Ho teased. In the Imperial capital, he actually broke the record left by the goddess and openly provoked her. As he said this, the corners of his mouth rose silently. Finally, it turned into a sigh, and the whole person collapsed in the chair. Maybe the decision I made at the beginning. It may change this era. Ha ha ha. On the other side, Yang Province Division. Qin Xinlian lay flat on the sofa in the apartment, and 2 girls sat behind her, looking anxious. Captain, did you see the hot spot? That Bai Zi, he actually came back unscathed and broke the record set by the goddess. Yes, this guy's goal has always been this matter. Qin Xinlian listened, his eyes slightly melancholy. It seems that we have all been fooled. She lowered her head and said in a deep voice, he not only broke the record of the goddess, but also proved himself again. He also took this opportunity to avoid the first stage of the game. Qin Xinlian realized the problem, but it was too late. He was not present in the 5-day competition, so naturally no one went to watch. So far, the basic information of many players has been revealed. But only Bai Zi, his information is still on that videotape. Speaking of this, Qin Xinlian's eyebrows could not help but frown. This time, she was indeed careless. Although, there was also news about the 5-on-5 competition between Tianzhou Academy and Sulin Academy. But there was no real video of that game. So no one knows what Bai Zi's real strength is. Also, he defeated a third-level planet. After swallowing the power of the third-level planet, Bai Zi's current strength must have increased. It is impossible to measure him by ordinary people's standards. Captain, What should we do? Yes, Captain, he is a big threat. The two girls next to him said anxiously. Sitting up, Zinlian shook her head solemnly. Don't worry, I'm here. In the second stage of the game, I will deal with him. Looking forward, Zinlian's red pupils seemed to be dancing with a phoenix, igniting a blazing flame. The same is true in the Imperial Capital Division. The sons of God who had mocked Bai-Ze before gathered together, and everyone was discussing fiercely. The goddess was eliminated from the ranking, which was also an indirect provocation to them. How could these people tolerate it? They looked fierce, and they had made an agreement. Since Bai-Ze is so ungrateful, let's put aside the grudges between us in the second stage of the game. Focus on dealing with Bai-Ze and send him home with all our strength. Let this so-called 11th star in the world be completely humiliated. The original owner also received the news. In the center of the imperial capital, the federal headquarters. In an office, the principal of the imperial capital was looking through his mobile phone. Below him, sat a girl with heterochromatic eyes. The girl sat upright with a calm look in her eyes. After waiting for a while, the principal of the imperial capital smiled and said, Xinguan, your record has been broken. It just so happens that it was your biggest opponent this time, Bai-Ze from Tianzhou Academy. Hearing these words, the girl's eyes flashed with a hint of joy. But then, it became calm and boring again. Such a rapid rotation, like a mental patient with split personality, seemed extremely unnatural. Xinguan, the principal of the imperial capital said in a gentle voice. Obviously, this girl called Xinguan is the goddess in people's mouths. By Xinguan. Teacher, don't worry. It's just a record from 1 month ago. If he breaks it now, it won't prove anything. Seeing this, the principal of the imperial capital nodded slowly as if he had heard a satisfactory answer. Yes. It's just a record from 1 month ago. What else can it prove? The only thing that can be proved is that Bai-Ze was stronger than the goddess when he was in the second stage. What's the use of that? What can a staged victory bring? The goddess is now far ahead. I will defeat him. Prove my strength, Bai Xinguan said with her head down. Outside the window, the sky was foggy, covering the moon's brilliance. This dark night is destined to be sleepless. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 297. On the way back, Bai-Ze glanced at his phone. He opened various social apps, and all of them reported his achievements today. The headlines even had a big label. The record of the goddess was broken, and the first round of the Battle of Gods started. When he opened it, it was full of marketing accounts. They said that his motives were impure, that he was ambitious, and that he was very cunning. Back in the apartment, Bai-Ze also found the two. After chatting with them for a long time, he explained clearly that he was not going for the ranking list. He just wanted to use the copy to make the creatures complete the advancement and make the planet achieve a breakthrough. Who knew that he accidentally obtained too much contribution value and squeezed down the list? Of course, Tang Qingcheng was the happiest among them. In any case, she won the bet, proving that her trust was not wrong. But then again, it was also shocking to the two. After jumping a level to challenge the copy, how could Bai-Ze come back unscathed? Late at night, with Bai-Ze's passionate speech, he finally managed to get away with it. He simplified the situation in the dungeon and made up a little white lie. He claimed that the first 11 creators had already crippled the dungeon boss, so he found a loophole for himself. The two naturally didn't believe the statement. How could such a good thing happen in the world? But Bai-Ze is back, that's the most important thing. Just assume that he doesn't want to reveal it. As for the rest, let him be. He breathed a sigh of relief. Bai-Ze closed the door and returned to his room. Finally, he got away with it, which was not easy. By the way, I seem to have forgotten to ask about the first stage of the competition. I was in a hurry to talk about the dungeon just now, but I forgot about it. Unfortunately, I thought about it and forgot it. It's late at night, and it won't be too late to ask tomorrow morning. Now, he has just come back and there are more important things to do. Enter the world. Sitting on the bed, Bai-Ze quickly closed his eyes. In an instant, his consciousness sank into the world. At this time, all the surviving creatures in the mother planet have returned. The first thing Bai-Ze did was to count their number. At present, it seems that the tree people have suffered the most damage, with more than half of their members killed. The second is the meteor bugs, with nearly 2,000 members killed. In this copy, Bai-Ze's total casualties are close to 4,000. System, where is the distorted planet stored? Ding, the host to which the distorted planet belongs has been stored in the origin of the world, and the host can retrieve it at any time. Bai-Ze thought about it, which means that the distorted planet is currently in his body. System, I want to assimilate the distorted planet. Return the land and ocean in the planet, including all available resources, to the mother planet. After waiting for a while, the system gave a prompt. Ding, OK. However, there are many wastelands, nuclear wastewater, radiation, and other things in the distorted planet, which are not compatible with the mother planet. After removing these impurities, the number of resources that can be fused is not large. After hearing this, Bai-Ze seemed to have figured it out. No wonder the creation building is so arrogant. As long as the creator defeats the copy, the corrupted planet will be given to them for free. So, it is because the creation building knows that the corrupted planet has basically no use value, so it will be cheap for those creators. This is not a big problem. It's useless to keep it anyway. Just assimilate all the usable resources. After saying this, the two blended light balls in Bai-Ze's body flashed. Then, the world wall in front of him continued to expand at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then circles of white light covered the surface of the planet. Ding, the planet has been assimilated, and the mother planet is growing. The next second, a sound like a heart vibration came from the mother planet. The white light was peeled off bit by bit, revealing a brand new appearance. Ding, congratulations to the host, the diameter of the planet's land has expanded to 2,000 meters. Ding, congratulations to the host, the diameter of the planet's ocean has expanded to 6,000 meters. Ding, harvest the biological energy in the distorted planet and store it in the system space. Ding, recover the important scene of the distorted world, the broken monster cemetery. Monster cemetery, reparable. The uninterrupted sound occupied Bai-Ze's head. When the white light in front of him disappeared, a world twice as large as the original one was completely revealed. The vast ocean, the boundless, flat and boundless land, covered with dense trees. The waterfalls are hanging, the peaks are towering, and the several Chengdus standing here are extremely brilliant and dazzling. Although it is said that only 1/3 of the territory of the distorted planet has been inherited. But such a change is completely beyond imagination. The area of the world has doubled directly. I am afraid that if the players of the same class see it, they will be shocked. Next, the planet expansion is completed, and there are two other things. Bai-Ze clicked on the system backpack and swiped it casually. Biological energy of distorted planet. Bai-Ze remembered that this thing was captured by Dowdy before. With the help of Rebrando, it contains the energy of all creatures on the distorted planet. Although it has been weakened, if it is absorbed by one's own creatures, it will definitely allow them to upgrade quickly. However, there is no rush now. With this thing, Bai-Ze came up with a plan in his mind. A plan to quickly fill the gap in biological loss before the start of the second stage of the game. Broken Monster Cemetery, reparable. Ding, please choose whether to send it to the mother planet. At this time, another thing popped out. After taking a look at this thing, Bai-Ze did not make a choice for the time being. No need, just take out the biological energy. Ding, received the host's order, the biological energy has been taken out. In the system backpack, a ball of pure light popped out and fell into Bai-Ze's palm. On the ground, the remaining creatures gathered. They were full of energy, without any decadence after the war. At this time, Bai-Ze's projection descended and began to issue oracles. This battle has been completely over, you did a good job. But soon a new round of challenges will begin. You must take advantage of this time to strengthen your race to cope with the next battle. While speaking, Bai-Ze threw the light ball in his hand. The energy decomposed in mid-air, turning into small light balls, which fell into the hands of the 5 leaders one after another. They looked at the energy in their palms, their eyes flickering. This is the energy extracted by the creatures on the distorted planet, and I'll give it all to you. Use this energy to expand the number of races and improve yourself. Listening to Bai-Ze's words, the leaders bowed their heads. They worshipped and praised. Thank you for the gift from the gods. We will live up to the expectations of the gods. For the great Father God, we offer everything we have. Ding, host's faith value add 10. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 298. Watching the scenes, Bai-Ze happily withdrew from the inner world. This was his purpose, to use the energy extracted from the distorted creatures to quickly fill the gaps in his own creatures. Although it would take some time for the new creatures to be born, and it was impossible for them to reach the level of veterans. But if they had these energies, it would be completely different. Feeding the energy to those newly born creatures could make their realm leap to the level of veterans. As for the rest, just let them develop on their own. Anyway, the losses were not too great, and the most deaths were nothing more than tree people. However, tree people can be catalyzed by magic. There are so many forests in the mother planet, it won't take much time to fill the number. I don't need to monitor all the time. Sleep. This night is destined to be long. There will be many people who are different from Bai-Ze, and they can't sleep. Regarding the recent incident in the Genesis building, the major competition areas held overnight talks. Yanyuan Competition Area, Tianjin Competition Area, Yang Province Competition Area, Zhou Competition Area, and many other competition areas are brightly lit at night. The mentor of the team leader has become the coach at this moment. Constantly analyzing Bai-Ze's past information, vowing to find a way to hunt him in the next round of competition. Early morning on the 6th day of the first stage of the competition. The 3 people from Sulan province gathered around the table, eating breakfast while explaining the latest situation. You mean, you have been to see it in the past 5 days? But, it seems that it was premeditated in advance, the goddess did not show up, right? Yeah, the 2 nodded in unison. What about her teammates? She has no teammates, we can be sure of this. Xia Yunya glanced at Tang Qingcheng, and the other party also nodded. The list of participants is publicly displayed. We have seen the list of the Imperial Capital Division, and Bai Xingguan does not have any teammates. Is it so domineering? Bai-Ze heard this and thought silently in his heart. This national competition, 2 rounds of team competition, she just doesn't want teammates? Isn't she afraid of being beaten up by others, or something unexpected, and being eliminated in advance? To be honest, Bai-Ze is still quite afraid of being besieged by others, the risk is too great. It is better to be safe than sorry. If something goes wrong, he can't afford it. What else? Other competition areas. There are other competition areas, but they certainly can't reveal their full strength. For example, the sons of gods in the imperial capital, after several rounds of competition, I haven't seen them use the divine field. After thinking for a while, Bai-Ze continued, "It's okay, just talk about it briefly." Anyway, Bai-Ze doesn't know their specific situation, and they don't know Bai-Ze either. If it were before, Bai-Ze would still be a little panicked. But after absorbing the energy of the distorted planet, he is now different from the past. Even the sons of gods in the imperial capital may not be able to make any waves? Well, then I'll tell you all at once. Xia Yunyu came forward. According to her, these sons of gods used some crappy creatures in the first stage of the competition. However, based on their experience, it is estimated that the main creatures of the sons of gods should be closely related to the attributes of their divine field. For example, the main creature of Muhan, the son of the ice god, is likely to be related to ice. The following sons of God, and so on. Bai-Ze listened and nodded slowly. Then the trump cards of each division were some insignificant creatures. They had no obvious characteristics, and many people did not choose to inherit the godhood of their families, so it was difficult to easily judge their main creatures. I know everything about them. What about you? Did the game go well? Yes, Xia Yunyu affirmed. No big problem, several teams matched with our team gave up. Because there are many teams and the schedule is very tight. So a team cannot play only one game in a day. In these 5 days, Xia Yunyu and her friends played a total of 10 games. We are also retaining our strength, and my top creatures are basically not on the field. However, during the time you were away, we also made a breakthrough. Tang Qingchen narrated, and then changed the subject. By the way, I forgot to ask you yesterday. After the battle on the distorted planet, did your creatures advance? Last night, the two only learned about Bai-Ze's losses. As for whether he has made a breakthrough, we haven't discussed it in detail. That's for sure. Otherwise, there's no need for me to challenge that dungeon, right? That's true. Tang Qingchen didn't ask any more questions. Okay, since you're back, take a good rest for 2 days. Today and tomorrow, the first stage of the competition will end. Our team's current points rank first in the Sulan division, which is first in the province. Even if you don't come, there will be no problem in advancing to the next round. Tang Qingchen paused, and then said solemnly, "You don't have to participate in the competition these 2 days, just leave it to us." Yeah, Bai-Ze nodded. He naturally wouldn't go to the competition. Besides, the creatures just came back and had to rest, so they couldn't compete even if they wanted to. I forgot to ask you, is the schedule for the second stage of the competition out? How much do you know? The second stage of the competition, Xia Yunyu lowered her head and thought for a while. Then he said, the questions haven't been released yet. We only know that a national live broadcast will be held in the next 2 days. At that time, the live broadcast will explain the rules of the competition, reveal the content of the competition, etc. Then it will probably take some time for the qualified teams to prepare before starting the competition. At this point, Xia Yunyu suddenly leaned close to Bai-Ze's ear. Quietly speaking, but we asked the principal. Rumor has it that the second stage of the competition will adopt a full area connection mode. You don't have to arrive at the scene, you can compete directly in your own competition area. Huh, Bai-Ze was puzzled. What does this mean? You can compete in your own competition area without going to a special competition site. Could it be that if you are tired, you can quit and take a rest? What kind of weird setting is this? Forget it, everything will be known in 2 days, and it's useless to say this now. Bai-Ze waved his hand. After a simple breakfast, Xia Yunyu and Tang Qingcheng got up one after another. We have a match coming up, at 10 o'clock. Do you want to come and watch the match? See how I beat the opponent. Xia Yunyu raised her fist and raised her lips. Sure. Of course, you can also go to other competition areas, or the Imperial City competition area. Maybe you will get something different, Tang Qingcheng agreed. Bai Ziyi also stood up, but shook his head slightly. There's no need to go to the Imperial City competition area. I have a feeling that the goddess won't come. Just go to our competition area and watch your game. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 299. Sulan Competition Area, Competition Venue. The logos of the two teams have appeared on the big screen. Nearly half of the seats in the circle around are occupied. This is the game of the Sans Hung team, although they know that Bai Ziyi will not appear. But the other two alone can attract a lot of attention. Please invite the players to enter. At this time, the referee on the floating platform shouted. Below the left hand, 3 figures walked out one after another. They looked stern, their backs were straight, and the badges hanging on their chests were shining. Please welcome, the Nanjing University team. As the referee spoke again, a group of people in the spectator seat stood up inadvertently. That's right, the people who will play against the Sans Hung team today are the people of Nanjing University. Moreover, they are the top team of Nan University. Are you all ready? Today's game is very important. Behind the 3 people, there stood a young man with glasses and a gentlemanly look. The 3 players heard this and nodded affirmatively. Don't worry, senior, even if we lose, we won't end up in a mess. At least we have to give the opponent a blow at the cost of our Nanda's honor. Okay, the young man said loudly, then I will go to the spectator booth first and cheer for you. Waving his hand, the young man turned and left. Don't worry, senior, we will. After that, the 3 of them turned their heads and walked forward until they came to the center competition booth. Seeing that they were ready, the referee continued to speak. Next, please welcome the Tianzhou Academy team, the 3 Saints team. With one sentence, everyone's eyes turned to the lower right corner. I saw 2 brisk footsteps. 2 beautiful girls entered the venue side by side, looking straight ahead, unbiased. Here they come, people from Tianzhou Academy are here. 2 more people. Nanjing University is ranked in the top 10 in the province. Will it be a bit difficult for 2 people to deal with their main team? Discussions were heard all around, and the young people standing in the spectator seats felt quite comfortable when they heard these words. Yes, his name is Cao Bin, and he is the former president of the Student Union of Nanjing University. As for why he is the former president of the Student Union, it has to start from the day of enrollment. Ever since Bai Ziyi slapped him in the face and let 2 top talents run away. That day, his counselor received a call from Tianzhou Academy. I don't know what the 2 sides talked about, anyway, the counselor was very angry and scolded him directly. In the end, it was because Bai Ziyi achieved the first place in the province in the initial test of freshmen, which directly alarmed the president of Nanjing University. When the other party learned about this, his counselor almost lost his position. In his own words, he was stripped from the position of the president of the student union and assigned to be the team leader. That is, now, I ran to this broken place and took my juniors to participate in the competition. To be honest, it would be a lie to say that I have no resentment. Cao Ben used to be the president of the Nanjing University Student Union. He was a person who had a lot of support and had a promising future. But after being kicked off, he became a street rat and was looked down upon. Not only was his future affected, but no one in the school liked him. So, this time he met the team from Tianzhou Academy. He must avenge his previous shame and let his juniors discuss them. Humph. Cao Bin laughed twice. At this time, Tang Qingcheng and Xia Yunyu had already stood opposite the three of them. The referee above gave an order, "Please take your seats, and connect the simulation space." Both sides sat down without saying much nonsense. At this time, a shout came from the spectator seats. "Come on in the game." Instantly, the audience in the seats trembled all over. They looked in the direction of the voice and frowned. Those who were far away squinted slightly, trying to see more clearly. "Wait, who was that person who just spoke? Look at that person, why does he look familiar? I seem to have seen him somewhere. Oh my god. Isn't that Bai Zi? It's really him." Bai Zi, who hasn't shown up for 5 days, actually showed up in person. "No way, it's really Bai Zi, big news. Quick, quick, quick. Give me your phone, I want to take a picture, I want to take a picture." In an instant, the right-hand side of the spectator's seat was in an uproar. The noise was so loud that the opposite side could hear it. What the hell is so noisy? What is the opposite side doing? Cao Bin stood up and looked around with an impatient look on his face. Suddenly, in front of him, a figure that he would never forget appeared. Standing in front of the railing of the opposite spectator's seat was Bai Zi himself. That is. He took a few steps back, opened his mouth and stammered, unable to speak. At the same time, the students of the Southern University who were preparing to connect to the simulation space also saw Bai Zi. The person in blue and white clothes on the opposite side looked very familiar. Am I seeing right? Bai Zi is also here for today's game. I remember that Bai Zi didn't come for the past 5 days because he was in the Genesis building. He just came out of the Genesis building yesterday. Is he here to participate in the game today? The three of them discussed with each other, their eyes full of astonishment. They heard that their senior, Cao Bin, had a conflict with Bai Zi a long time ago. If Bai Zi came to compete today, would they become a punching bag? "Please, contestants, connect to the simulation space," the referee urged. Tang Qingcheng and Xia Yunyu put their hands on the crystal ball in front of them one after another. But when it was the turn of the other three, they looked at each other and stood up with a slight tremor. Referee, we choose to give up." "Yes, referee, I also choose to give up. I don't want to compete anymore, I don't want to compete anymore, I want to go back." The three people agreed, and the audience outside was amazed. Even the students who came to watch the game from the school were so shocked that they couldn't speak for a long time. Just because Bai Zi came, they gave up. What kind of operation is this? But little did they know that this was the wisest move of the three. After all, the first stage of the competition was not an elimination system. According to the points system, even if they lose this round, they will surely advance to the next stage. What's more, Bai Zi is on the field today. What if he plays in the next game? They don't want to conflict with this monster, otherwise they will probably be used as a punching bag. So giving up this round is the best choice. Wait. How can you give up? You. Cao Bin shouted. However, the three people just glanced at him lightly and left without saying a word. Seeing this scene, Tang Qingcheng and Xia Yunyu also looked at each other. Only the referee was still sober. In that case, the students of Nan University give up, and the winner of this round is Tianzhou University, the Three Saints team. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 300. Nan University was defeated without a fight. The Sansheng team continued to increase its points and still maintain the first place in Sulan province. On the way back, the three walked together. "It's all your fault," Xia Yunyu said coquettishly. "What's wrong with me?" Bai Ziyi shrugged. "I wanted to show my strength, but who knew that you scared everyone away when you came? Can you blame me for this? Am I also guilty of being too strong?" Spreading his hands, Bai Ziyi felt helpless. "Humph, forget it, you'd better not go to our next round of games. You are responsible for supporting the family, and I will go out to make money." Xia Yunyu patted her chest to guarantee, looking very proud. Glancing at her, Bai Ziyi whispered, "I've been there once, how can you make money?" "What?" Xia Yunyu tilted her head. "Nothing, let's go back quickly," Bai Ziyi deliberately said vaguely. Now, Xia Yunyu's curiosity was aroused. "Tell me quickly, tell me. You will know in a while." The atmosphere was warm and cozy. The venue of the Sulan competition area is not far from the apartment where they live. It can be reached by foot. At night, Bai Ziyi stayed in his room. When he opened his mobile phone, it was indeed all the news about him today. Shocked, after 5 days of disappearance, Bai Ziyi returned to the competition site. Nanjing University was defeated without a fight. Was it Bai Ziyi too strong or Nanjing University too cowardly? Bronze said Nanjing University was too cowardly, Diamond said Bai Ziyi was too strong, only King said so. Anyway, it was basically about how he scared off the ace team of Nanjing University with his own strength, thereby expanding his reputation and deifying his strength. In the end, they had another game today. But the opponent was so scared that he gave up before the game when he learned that he was back. At this time, Xia Yunyu should also know what she meant at that time. I guess she was sulking in the room. Thinking, Bai Ziyi continued to slide his phone. By chance, a live broadcast room popped up above. Bai Ziyi accidentally pressed it and went in to see that it was the live broadcast of the game in the Sulan competition area. At this time, one of the teams was from Sulan Academy. The leader was Zhao Jinzu. The game begins. With the referee's order in the live broadcast, the game started. Bai Ziyi stared at the screen. Zhao Jinzu's team was not only him, but also Wang Tiangang. Plus another student from Sulan Academy who he didn't know. The three crushed the opponent and finally won the victory perfectly. Zhao Jinzu is now better than before. It seems that he has become stronger after walking out of sadness. The defense of the obsidian puppet made the opponent fall into despair for a while. Okay, it's almost time to get down to business. I don't know how they have developed in the past few days. Bai Ziyi turned off the phone, then closed his eyes and let his consciousness sink into the inner world. After a day, he wanted to see the current situation of the creatures. Ding, start reporting major events to the host. Event 1, the number of tree people lost is replenished, and the realm returns to the peak period. Event 2, the meteor insect tribe is continuously replenished, and the realm of some tribesmen returns to the peak period. Event 3, the number of sea emperor rock is replenished, and the realm returns to the peak period. Event 4, the world continues to expand, and the ocean continues to expand. Looking at the subtitles, Bai Ziyi was quite satisfied. In this way, the army will definitely be replenished to the peak before the start of the second stage of the game. Tree people can be created through magic, and the sea emperor rock has few casualties. The slowest is the meteor insect. However, the world area is so large. The upper limit of the number of creatures must also be increased, but returning to the origin is not enough. Bai Ziyi thought for a while, then waved his hand. Under the sky, the figure of the dragon passed by. Standing on the back of the Holy Spirit King Dragon, Aurora half knelt and bowed her head. "My lord, please give your orders." Bai Ziyi summoned Aurora. He needed to make some changes to the tree people. After all, tree people can be directly induced by magic, without the need for gestation. Compared with other creatures, they can be born faster. Aurora, I need you to expand the number of tree people. Now that the world has become larger, the number of creatures that can be accommodated has also increased. 3,000 tree people alone are not enough. Hearing this, Aurora slowly raised her head. I understand, my lord, but the energy in my hand may not be enough. It's okay. Bai shook his head and said, I will contact other leaders. Let them divide the excess energy and let you use it to catalyze tree people. At this point, Bai suddenly remembered something. By the way, how is the pharmaceutical factory? The pharmaceutical factory that Bai mentioned was naturally the potion seized from the lich before. At that time, it was given to Aurora, and she was ordered to mass produce. At this time, Aurora was slightly stunned. After remembering it, he immediately replied proudly, Don't worry, my lord. The medicine is already in mass production under the supervision of Huadan of the Wood Capital. As long as my lord needs it, it can be put into use at any time. The Huadan mentioned by Aurora is also a creature in the Bai world. The Wood Capital is not the only race of tree people. It can only be said that the tree people are Aurora's personal guards in the Wood Capital. There are other creatures with wood attributes, which also stay in the capital of the Wood Kingdom and are protected by it. I want to test it now. Bai continued. The war is imminent, and he needs this thing for the second stage of the game. When Aurora heard it, she paused for 2 seconds and said, My lord, I have a sample on me. After that, she took out 3 bottles from somewhere. 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 yellow. My lord, these 3 bottles are Strength Potion, Swiftness Potion, and Defense Potion. Strength Potion increases the strength of creatures, Swiftness is speed, and Defense can strengthen the hardness of the body to offset more damage. Listening to Aurora's explanation, Bai nodded symbolically. Then, she asked the Holy Spirit King Dragon to take 3 more bottles of potion. In an instant, the opponent became energetic. There are no enemies here, so the most intuitive manifestation is that the Holy Spirit King Dragon's flying speed has increased. It's so fast that you can't even see the frequency of its flapping wings without opening the eye of God. It seems that the effect is very successful. By the way, how many have been produced now? After stopping flying, Aurora replied, they are all reproduced at a 1-to-1 ratio. The total number has exceeded 50,000, and it will continue to rise sharply. But Aurora hesitated suddenly. What's wrong? After a little thought, Aurora finally took out another bottle of purple potion. But after continuous attempts, I have also developed a new potion based on the 3 potions. Rage Potion. Introduction, a new type of potion. After using it, it can make creatures feel no pain in a short period of time and move forward bravely. Warm Ti.